So I went from this to this. And you want to know how much that costs? Well, let's rewind back to the beginning and I'll explain. All right, guys, so this is my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. I spend a whole lot of time outside. When I'm not shooting videos, I'm playing sand volleyball, my seat covers are beat up. I have got a furry friend, Hera, who hangs out in the back a lot. And then, of course, me up in the front, I'm usually wet, I'm sandy, or I might have oil or anything on me from when I'm shooting videos. So you'll notice I don't even have the seat cover here anymore because it kept getting pulled off. So I needed to replace it. Now, the timing for this worked out perfectly because Coverado reached out to me and said, hey, would you be interested in testing out our seat covers? And I said, absolutely, because mine are falling apart. Now, Coverado produces seat covers for a plethora of different kinds of cars. So while I have a 2020 Jeep Gladiator, it doesn't mean you can't get these for your Honda, your Hyundai, your Nissan, right? Your Ford, your Chevy, whatever the case may be. Now, I went with an exotic color. I went with something flashy because, let's be honest, my Jeep is a little bit obnoxious. Now, I've had these seat covers by Rough Country for almost 5 years, so I'm not mad at them. They did a great job. It was just time for something new, and the timing worked out that these guys hit me up right when I was thinking about it. Let's take off this first seat cover, put one on, and see what it looks like. Okay, so after installing one, let's go through a couple things here because there's some goods and some bads, right? So the first thing is it does come with instructions. That's kind of nice. Now they're just basic, like, let me show you a picture of step-by-step what to do, right? And how to do it. So nothing other than here's an image, you figured out from there. Now, when you're getting under the seats, how you're tying these things together, they've got bungees, right? For both the top piece and the bottom piece. You pull those bungees together. Now, there are clips. One of the clips I snapped, I let it go and it hit some of the plastic in the car. But they also offer these. So you slide one piece of the bungee to one side, you pull the strap from the other side and you connect the two. I do like these though, because one, a lot of the other ones I had, you just had these little hooks and the hooks would come loose all the time. These are bigger and easier to use and you can hold on to them. And if I need to reach under there, I can get a hold of this real easy. Now in the front, right, there's two straps on the front that you hook these little metal hooks into and you wrap it under and you just have to find something under the seat to connect it to. That part's a little weird. They're just kind of counting on me knowing that there's something under there that I can connect to. Now luckily there's a bar that runs right under the center of the seat that these connect to, but I don't know, that piece made me a little bit concerned, right? Does every car have that bar? I don't know, maybe. I haven't looked under a whole lot of cars. And here in a second, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So they've got some different hardware along with some clips that you can use, but I found that these work better than the clips just because the clips are a little bit flimsy. One thing to note, it doesn't go all the way over this, which my old ones went over this and they had holes, but the holes never really lined up. So I'm not mad at this because this allows me to adjust my seat. It's a manual adjusting seat, right? If you had a powered seat, you'd be good there too. And I can still get to my flat that used to get covered up. It fits pretty good. I've got a couple small gaps, but nothing too bad to complain about. It's still new, so you can see it's still a little bit pressed.
What?
I think as it heats up here in the sun and relaxes and I sit in it, this will slide down on there a little bit better. The one thing I didn't care for as much is my old ones, if you see over there, they have these Velcro and all these pieces that kind of keep that together. This is just one big Velcro piece. Now, don't get me wrong, it's easier to put on, but it's just kind of a flap. And then when you get to the back of this thing, they've just got like generic holes, and I'm sure I could push this down around there and make it feel a bit better, and then little like snaps. Now, I do like the fact that it snaps so you can get it on and off easier. All right, so take a quick comparison. Check out the red versus the black. It's kind of cool. I want you to get a chance to look. The red does look cool. So once I get a couple of these set up, we'll see what I think. So I put these plastic guys on and I pushed them through, and I want to show you what I was talking about. When I reach up under now, it's so much easier to grab a hold of one of these and be able to connect it up. Take this guy, this other piece slides in there, right? And then it holds up there in place. And it won't slide up in between the seat because it's nice and big and you can make it flat. So super easy to use. Now, the top part is by far easier. The bottom part is harder only because you have to put it on and then slide it under and kind of get in the back. And you have to go between. If you had two people, this part would be a little bit easier, but it's doable. And I'm gonna do it right now. All right, so we got the first two seats on. They do look nice. I'm not mad at that. Compared to the old back neoprene ones, yeah, they were super functional, but these just look cool. And hopefully they'll function the same. We're gonna drive around, we're gonna test them out. The last part is to get the back seat on, which will by far be harder than the front seats because that's typically how they work. That's how it was with my last set. All right, so for the second row, this is what we're looking at. We've got a lot more pieces and I've got them actually laid out. I've got the seat pieces, the middle pieces, and the bottoms, right? So there's gonna be a good amount of pieces to install. So it's not like one big piece or one little piece or a couple pieces. They're actually kind of modular, which may be good, may be bad. We're gonna find out. Related to instructions, I found this on the back after I talked about it earlier. There are some video tutorials if you need a little bit of extra help outside of what you have inside of this booklet. All right, so let's get the second seat set up. I'm gonna do the middle last because I'm not 100% sure how that's gonna work. We've got straps to wrap underneath and buckle in. So this guy had some different guys where he did each one. This guy's a little bit more universal. The middle part is gonna be the part it's gonna be interesting to figure out, but very similar as far as the bottom setup goes on here. So it took me a little bit of work, but I figured out the back seat. And so there's essentially like 6 panels here. You've got bottom panel, top panel. You've got this centerpiece that kind of folds underneath. You've got another centerpiece, top panel, bottom panel, and then a headrest. For the most part, it fits in here. You can see it's a little bit stiff and like it doesn't quite fit exactly right. Over here, it looks a little bit more creased and better, right? I had to kind of tuck everything away. My biggest complaint, if you're gonna be anything, is the back. I feel like they kind of dropped the ball here because these don't pull down and cover this, right? Why not just go with something that looked like this to where it was a little bit cleaner look? So that when I'm driving around with no top off, you're gonna be able to see the back and it looks like this. So aesthetically, if you're asking, do these look good? I would say, yeah, these look pretty awesome. It really makes my Jeep pop. Secondarily, now, if we're talking about fit, the front 2 seats, I would argue the fit is a solid like 9 out of 10. The only thing I didn't care for was just the flap that fits under here. But honestly, after seeing it for a few days, I didn't really notice it. And I was like, this looks good. The back seats, if I was gonna argue anything, are the one that I'm kind of like, I'm a little bit torn about. And that's mainly because of the headrests, right? You can see right now that I don't even have the headrest cover on. I actually took them and tucked them behind it so that you don't have to look at them. I just figured it looked better with the red and then the black headrests. Plus I have a dash cam that's mounted to one of the back of my headrests. So for me, that played a role. Now, I could do that to all of them and have black headrests and red seats, and that might actually look pretty cool. So just some different ways I could approach this, or I could cover the headrest with something else, right? But that's me being picky about my specific vehicle. As far as buying these, I want to give you a couple pieces of advice. One, understand that you can buy either the fronts or the fronts and the backs. So they're not forcing you to buy all 4. That's pretty cool. So if you're like, man, I just want to cover my front 2 seats and I don't want to spend the extra money, you can do that. If you want the full coverage, you can. And then understand they have universal fits. They have fits for specific cars, right? So you have a lot of different options when it comes to that. Install, it's actually pretty easy. Doing a one-man job on the bottom of the seat, reaching under and kind of getting behind, that was a little bit harder, but not really hard, right? This doesn't require a lot of power tools and a lot of effort. The instructions were easy enough to understand. And of course, they do have videos to help you if you need some additional help as well, just visually seeing what they're doing. So take advantage of the coupon codes, take advantage of the links. If you want to buy something, I hope that you will. If you have questions, leave a comment. I'd love to know what you think of not only the video, but of course, what do you think of the seat covers and the Jeep itself? Other than that, me and Aaron just want to say thanks for watching.